What's going on, PE 578? This is Zachary Perez, and this is my video response for the vocational stress management response this week. So, the first question is: what professional career are you currently or intend to pursue? Currently, I'm an assistant coach at Cypress College, but for the purpose of this discussion, I'll do physical educator because that's what I aspire to be someday. And, five stressors that I found that you can deal with in that are just, dealing with or overlooking 30 plus students at a time. That's a lot of responsibility, and, there's so much stuff that happens between 30 students that you can't kind of control. So, kind of just managing 30 students is a stressor that I think will be prevalent. And, I think just having to deal with that is just part of the job and what makes it so difficult as a physical educator. The second one is just making sure students and athletes have are in a safe and healthy environment, whether it's playing, learning, whatever it may be. There's so many different transitions in a physical education classroom that we want to create an environment that students can thrive in. So being able to do that is another stressor that I can see being prevalent. Um, Also being a teacher, I think a big stressor is the possibility of losing your job if you're not successful. You work that hard to get to that point, and uh, everybody wants stability in their job, and I think just getting to that point and not succeeding and losing that job can really put a lot of pressure on you, and make you feel like you need to perform certain ways to um, keep that job. The fourth thing that I could see is just dealing with parents. I've always heard that in high school and middle school there's a lot more abundance than at the college level. So I think just dealing with parents could be another stressor. Um, Not that it's completely a bad thing, but I just think parents are way more active in their kids' younger life than at the college level as an adult. So I could definitely see that being a big stressor. And the last thing is just handling a budget. If that falls under the responsibility as a physical educator, um, that's just kind of just something that is part of the job as well. Yeah, it's more responsibility on you, and those are kind of things that we just have to deal with um, as part of the job. So the second thing is specifically identify five sources of stress. I'm sorry. The third thing is identify specific means to prevent those stressors. So the first thing is just, I think, preparing through experience. Right now, obviously, I'm a assistant coach at Cypress College and also a club coach at um, in Garden Grove for an organization known as Ironman. Um, and I think that's just great because I learned how to communicate with parents. I learned how to communicate with children from all ages. So in terms of finding a physical education job, I think I can communicate well with not only students but with parents, and I think that's a big part of being a physical educator at those secondary levels. The second thing is just being as organized as I can be. I think when you're more organized, it's easier to you know operate in your workspace, and you know vice versa. If you're disorganized, then you kind of get a little hectic. So being highly organized is something I'll try to do. And the last thing is just kind of surround myself with like-minded people. There's a lot of people in my shoe or that are currently want to be in my shoes, or that are in the same situation if I was a physical educator. So kind of just bouncing ideas off of them and getting feedback from them to help in the job that I'm doing and help with that experience is something that I think can really be beneficial. So the last thing is considering the verses, what bio advice can you integrate into your stress prevention and treatment? Um, you know, Based on the quote that was provided, um, I liked how it said, "Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble on its own." I think dealing with stress is when you put stress on one thing, it kind of has a snowball effect. So if you're stressing about one thing, then you start thinking about tomorrow and all tomorrow's tasks and all tomorrow's activities that you're gonna have to deal with, and it kind of just snowballs. So I think just dealing with one thing at a time and understanding that God will give us the strength to deal with one thing at a time and to deal with what the future holds is kind of just something that will help me, you know, prevent stress from building and give me that peace of mind. So definitely just taking one thing at a time and not letting my mind spiral into the multiple tasks that every day has. Something that I think will really help me moving forward. So looking forward to what you guys have to say. Have a great rest of your week.